Hello everyone, it's Geesje. Welcome back to my channel and to part 5 of Jelly Printing Basics. And it's not so basic anymore. Today I'm going to show you how I made this gel print. Instead of adding paint and stencils and pulling and adding paint and stencils and pulling to get multiple layers on one piece of paper, I'm going to add paint, let dry, add paint, let dry, add paint, let dry until I have the layers I want. And in the end, we're going to take all the paint off the plate in one pull. And this is the result of that. All right, let's get started and I'll show you how it went. So I'm going to use multiple stencils, and the first stencil I'm going to use is this one. I would like to have her about here, and I was thinking of putting brick around the bottom. So it's going to obscure her feet. I thought it would give it a nice contrast. I don't know. We're going to try this. Now, because I don't want any paint over there, so I'm going to mask off the rest. I'm going to use Payne's Gray, and I'm going to put it on another gel plate so that I don't get big blobs right in the middle. And I'm going to brayer out over my stencil, covering everything. So the technique is different too. Instead of putting paint on a gel plate and then putting a stencil on, I'm putting a stencil on and then putting something on a gel plate. Now I see something I should have. Okay, see if I can still do that. This has to go on top. Lift this up and then put some paint over there. All right, let's pull everything off and let this dry. These layers have to be completely dry before we can do the next step. I'm going to put some bubble wrap on her jacket. I think that will give a nice effect. Okay, this is good. So I'm going to take everything off and let this dry. And I see some lines here that I'm going to gently see if I can take it off. I'm going to improvise because I would like some paint over there. You know, it's not exactly, but it looks better. All right, letting this dry. I think it'll look nice if I have like a grunginess around it. Also, I think I wouldn't mind having a bit more background. So first I'm going to roll out some copper and black, just a little bit. And then with a sponge, just want to make a grungy edge, very light. I should have done it maybe before I added the brick. Oh well. Very thinly. I think that's almost too much. Let's take some off. Then I'm going to add a bit more black. I would like some background detail with this stencil, just in a few places. And I don't want to use my brayer because I only want a little bit here and there. I have no idea if this is going to show up or not. I'm just doing. I think this is it. Waiting for this to dry, and we're going to add more texture in the next layer. For my next layer, I'm going to choose a small scale stencil. I'm going to choose these two paints, and these are paints by Michaels. So these are the more fluid paints. So I'm not sure how it's going to work, but we're going to give it a try. Let's put the stencil on like so. And how about just some yellow and some orange, light colors. Let's see how this works out. You can easily add more paint. Okay, I was gonna say, why isn't there paint there? But there's the silhouette is under there. Maybe I would like a little bit more paint on here. All right, taking the stencil off and letting this dry. So this is dry. Now it's time for the next layer, and the idea is to use a small scale first, medium scale, and then build up until larger scale. Now I'm not so sure about my colors, so I'm going to go with pink and orange because I don't think it would look good if I all of a sudden go to blue. I think it would too contrast, so I'm going to put my stencil on. Again, I will apply paint on the plate. See how far we're going to get with this. All right, let's go for it. I'm very curious on how this is going to look. I don't want too heavy a layer, so I'm going to take some off right now. Okay, I'm taking the stencil off and we'll see what happens. So I will let this dry and then we'll come back with the last stencil. I'm going to use this as the last stencil, last layer. I'm going to use green and blue and I'm going to put it to the side here. I wasn't sure how the paint would come out, and rolling it out. I do hope I'm going to get some of the other. Not sure if this blue is way too overwhelming. Again, I might have way too much paint on here. Okay, taking it off. I don't know. I'm very curious how this is going to end up and waiting for this to dry. Well, I'm sorry to say that I forgot to put the camera on, I use a light coat of the yellow all over. You don't want too thick of a coat. And I massaged the whole thing very well, hoping that the dry paint will be adhered to the wet paint. And because the wet paint is adhering to the paper so that everything come off in one pull. Some people will now pull it right away. And I would like to wait for this to be completely dry. So I'm going to wait a couple of hours. I don't think you have to wait a couple of hours, but I want to make sure that everything will come off. So we'll see how it works out. I'm very sorry that I forgot to turn the camera on. That was not cool. All right, see you later. See if I like what I did. Maybe it is not what I like. Maybe I'm not going to like it at all. So, okay, I like the border. I tried to get it from all sides so that it comes off clean. Okay, so as you can see, there are a few spots that paint was left behind. But yeah, you can see the border I did in the beginning and the numbers. Yeah, I don't know what to say. It's different. It has a lot going on. All right, so this was it for today. I hope you liked the video and you might want to give this a try. It does take some trial and error to what colors to use and how to apply which stencil. And this is my second try. So in comparison, this is the first one I did. And I put too much detail in the beginning. So I have the girl, then I did the brick, then I did the flower here, and then I did some stencils. So way too much detail. I think you have to, certain things needs to be in black, and then a few stencils, and that's it. So I see those leaves here, which I might want to try the next time I do this. So this is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and you might want to give this a try. It's, yeah. Might be fun. See you in the next one. Bye.